Hello guys, I am Kritik, currently a first year MBBS student in ESIC MC Bangalore. So let's get started. Firstly, lipid metabolism. So first important pathway is beta oxidation of fatty acids. So fatty acids, why do we need beta oxidation of fatty acids and what is meant by beta oxidation of fatty acids? As we know, fatty acids can be stored in the form of triacylglycerides for energy. So the energy is released when it undergoes beta oxidation of fatty acids majority of the times. So it is nothing but a sequential removal of two carbon atoms from carboxyl end of fatty acids. So this pathway is mainly occurring in uh, liver, muscle, renal cortex as tissue sites, and intracellular site is mitochondria. So let's get started with the reactions. Step 1. Firstly, activation. There must be activation of fatty acids. Why there must be activation of fatty acids? Firstly, fatty acids remain in cytosol. So they need to be transported to mitochondria where the actual process is happening. So firstly, there must be a fatty acid activation. Fatty acids react with coenzyme A in the presence of fatty acyl CoA synthetase. Why I'm stressing out synthetase is that there is a requirement of actually two ATPs that will be converted into AMP, and in the presence of magnesium, it will get converted into fatty acyl CoA. Next, it must be the fatty acyl CoA in the cytosol must be transported to mitochondria. There is a requirement of carnitine shuttle. Carnitine shuttle. Carnitine shuttle, where acyl CoA will be converted into CoA with simultaneous conversion of carnitine to acyl carnitine. So this acyl carnitine in the cytosolic path is carried out by CAT1, that is carnitine acyl transferase 1, and in towards the mitochondria, and in mitochondria it is aided by CAT2, carnitine acyl transferase 2, wherein acyl carnitine is converted back into carnitine and CoA is converted back into acyl CoA, which is required by us, and then this carnitine is again sent back to the cytosol. So then the step 3, beta oxidation proper, wherein there is a mnemonic you can use or you can make your own actually. Oh, hot. And these are the process actually. This is the four basic process which occurs in beta oxidation proper. The first being the oxidation, the second being the hydration, the third being the oxidation again, the fourth being the theolytic cleavage. It is somewhat uh, f- uh, it is somewhat mind-boggling, I would say rather. No, okay. Oxidation, and theolytic cleavage. Next, the first process, the first process being oxidation, wherein the fatty acyl CoA which was brought into the mitochondria gets converted into trans enoyl CoA by the enzyme. First you have to always remember the enzymes so that you can easily grasp what is the process involved. Like in as a first one is the oxidation process, so there must be a dehydrogenation. So acyl CoA dehydrogenase will hack fatty acyl CoA. Fatty acyl CoA gets converted into trans-enoyl CoA in the presence of acyl CoA dehydrogenase. It is an oxidation process wherein the hydrogen ions from the hydrogen ions will be added to FAD, and then FADH2 will be produced, which upon ETC which yields 1.5 ATP in the when entered into ETC, and then trans-enoyl CoA will be converted into beta-hydroxyacyl CoA by an enzyme enoyl CoA hydratase. Here, the second process is hydration. So a water molecule is required. So there is hydration process occurring. Therefore, it will be converted into beta-hydroxyacyl CoA. Now, beta hydroxyacyl CoA, upon reaction with beta hydroxyacyl dehydrogenase, which is again a third step, is oxidation process. It will be converted into beta keto acyl CoA. Here again, the hydrogen atoms will go and bind with NAD to form NADH2, which yields 2.5 ATP in when entered into ETC. Then beta ketoacyl CoA, the fourth process being theolytic cleavage. Theolytic cleavage, a beta ketoacyl CoA upon reaction with thiolase will be converted into acyl CoA and acetyl CoA. The acyl CoA will be again reused for the same process, and then the acetyl CoA will be entering TCA cycle where it gives 10 ATP. So the energetics for palmitic acid to be produced are, since palmitic acid is a 16 carbon compound, therefore how many cycles of beta oxidation should be occurring? There's a simple formula. N is equal to, number of cycles is equal to number of carbon atom divided by 2 minus 1. So 7 cycles will be occurring. So in 7 cycles there will be formation of 7 acetyl CoA directly, 7 acetyl CoA directly, and at the end of the process you must remember that there's another acetyl CoA forming. So in 7 cycles there will be 8 acetyl CoA formed. So coming to the energetics, 8 acetyl CoA when entering a TCA cycle produces 80 ATP, and 7 into 7 into 2.5 being the being since the NADPS, since one NADH2 is produced per cycle. So there are 7 cycles occurring, and one NADH2 will yield for 2.5 ATPs. So there is 17.5 ATPs produced. The same way, there is 7 cycles occurring, and then and then per cycle one FADH2 is produced per cycle. So 1 FADH2 produces 1.5 ATP. So 7 into 1.5 ATP gives you 10.5 ATP. The grossly, if we add all the things, we'll get 108 ATP in total. But in net consumption, so net produced is 108 minus the 2 ATP. 2 ATP, can you remember where the 2 ATPs are used? In the first step, wherein activation of fatty acid occur. Activation of fatty acids. So 106 ATP is produced in net. So the regulation, the amount of free fatty acids is the one which regulates this process. And glucagon, remember, glucagon increases free fatty acids, and then malonyl CoA being an inhibitor to cat1, which regulates the entry of fatty acids into the mitochondria in the carnitine shuttle process. Carnitine shuttle, this regulates beta oxidation. And malonyl CoA, which is produced in de novo synthesis. So this tells you that when de novo synthesis is occurring, there is no beta oxidation occurring simultaneously. And then we coming to the clinics, Jamaican vomiting sickness where occurs when there is cat1 deficiency, carnitine acetyltransferase deficiency 1. And then sudden infant death syndrome occurs when there is MCA CoA dehydrogenase deficiency, that is medium chain acyl CoA dehydrogenase deficiency. Okay, so we'll end this here, and then we'll go for de novo synthesis of fatty acids. And if you like this video, share, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. It's your boy Kritik signing out.